A guy gets knocked off his boat after a massive shape swims under him. Mysterious footage from Alaska shows a strange, humpbacked creature. Could it be proof of the legendary sea serpent Caddy? And finally, witness nature at its harshest as octopuses feast on a large carcass sitting at the bottom of the sea. This is terrifying ocean footage that proves we know nothing about the deep. If you have thalassophobia, a fear of large, deep bodies of water, this first video ain't for you. Unless you like being scared, which in that case, stick around I guess. So this dude is sitting in a boat, looks like he's pretty far out from shore. Lovely water, bright blue skies, everything is hunky-dory, till you see a large shape moving through the water passing under the boat. I don't know if he gets knocked off or just decides to jump into the water to get a closer look, but oh boy, when he does, it is quite the sight. Man, just look at this thing. It might be a whale, I'm not sure about that though. It's big though, and obviously it's not causing any harm, but just the sheer size of something like that swimming right under your feet while you're out in the middle of the water, it just reminds you of how small and insignificant you are and how many insanely large things are lurking down in the depths of the ocean. Next up, we have some mysterious sea creature footage. This video was taken in Nushagak Bay, Alaska in 2009 by a fisherman named Kelly Nash. The thing looks long and seems to have humps. At the time, a lot of people were comparing it to the famous Loch Ness monster, but a lot of other people have said this could be the Cadborosaurus, aka Caddy. Caddy is a legendary sea serpent spotted along the Pacific coast of North America, especially around the area of Cadboro Bay in British Columbia. The creature's name comes from the bay, of course, and then the Greek word saurus, which means lizard or reptile. According to witnesses, Caddy looks like a giant serpent with a long neck and a horse-like head, along with several humps or coils along its body. It has small flippers at the front and either regular or fused flippers at the back, forming a large fan-like tail used for swimming. Over the years, scientists have tried to figure out what Caddy could actually be, with many suggesting it could be a misidentified animal like a humpback whale or a sea lion or a giant eel. Experts like Dr. Paul LeBlanc and Dr. Edward Blausfield argue that no known creature matches the descriptions from over 200 reported sightings of Caddy though, especially because it seems to have flippers at both ends of its body. So could this footage be genuine proof of Caddy? What do you think? Life eats life. It's as natural as it gets, but actually seeing it happen just reminds us of how harsh nature can be sometimes. And this video here is a prime example of that. Captured at the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, this footage here shows a bunch of octopuses gnawing at the remains of a baleen whale. At this point, it's pretty much just bones with some internal organs still left. Here you can see these scavengers picking apart the skeleton to get at the blubber. There are also worms called Osedax here, busy eating the fats right off the bones. It's very normal. It's a natural part of life. Things die and get consumed by other creatures and then go back to the earth, and the cycle continues. There's a real beauty to it, but it's not fun to think about it happening to you. Also, just picture all the poor folks who've gone down in sunken ships and getting picked away at by sea critters. That's kind of depressing. Just in case you needed a reminder of how terrifying great white sharks are, we have this for you. What in God's name? I thought Jaws was just a movie. That thing is absolutely massive. Yeah, logically I know that great whites are called great for a reason and that they're gigantic, but actually seeing one up close like this, popping out of the water and lunging at the camera, I don't think any mental image can prepare you for how nuts this looks when you actually see it. I can only imagine actually being there in person. So yeah, great white sharks, they're scary. How enlightening. All right, so this one's less scary and more just fascinating, but get this. This is footage of two undiscovered species of jellyfish spotted by members of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. First, we have this one, and if I didn't know any better, I'd think this was a comet flying through space or something. So, all right, it does change direction, which gives it away, but before that, definitely doesn't look like a sea creature to me. It's so exciting watching something like this, especially when you have a moment like this.
Entered into the chat that that's an undescribed family, a new species. Can we collect that pilot?
Video, come on. Hey, watch it. He's way up there.
An undescribed family, a new species. Awesome. It's beautiful. The flashing lights, I don't even know how to describe it. The tentacles on the back, they almost look like fiery jets. It's just really cool, this glowing, odd-looking creature. Then we have this little jelly. Once again, the NOAA researchers had no idea what type of jellyfish this was. Both these creatures were spotted during a dive off the northeast US closest to Newport, Rhode Island. I watched this video while listening to some Vangelis, and I gotta tell ya, just exquisite. Earth is a really cool place, sometimes. Next up, we got the Lagarfljót Worm, a mysterious creature said to live in the depths of Lagarfljót, a freshwater lake in Iceland. This thing is said to be massive, longer than a bus, around 40 feet. The first sighting of the creature goes all the way back to 1345, but people have been spotting it ever since. In 1963, a high-ranking official from Iceland's National Forest Service claimed to have seen it, and in 1998, a teacher and some students reported seeing the giant beast as well. There was also a pretty strange and more famous incident in 1983 when contractors working on a phone cable near the lake's shore found this large shifting mass in the water. Later, they discovered the cable was mysteriously broken where this anomaly was. Another one of the most famous pieces of evidence came in 2012 though, when a 67-year-old farmer filmed what looked like a giant serpentine creature moving just below the surface of the water. What do you think of this footage though? Genuine evidence of the creature or just a misidentification? This video reminds me why I never became a sailor. I've always had a fascination with the sea, especially when I was a kid, but yeah, I don't think it's worth it if this is gonna happen. Leaving aside the danger, I think seasickness would take me out long before waves this big even hit. Just imagine how nauseating this would be. Stuck on this floating ship in the middle of the sea, no control over the giant monster waves rocking you up and down as your stomach slingshots up into your chest. Oh, and on top of that, you're scared the whole boat is just gonna get engulfed in water and sink to the bottom. Nothing like being terrified of drowning while you're already sick to your stomach. What a nightmare. To be fair, sailors do get their sea legs eventually and don't get sick as often, but even still, this is just, it doesn't look like a good time. This video is seriously creepy and will definitely make you second guess swimming alone in murky water. It starts with a guy filming himself swimming in what looks like a lake. Everything seems fine at first until he surfaces to catch some air. When he dives back down, we hear this loud, eerie growl. The last thing you ever want to hear, especially in a big, dark body of water. The idea of being out there alone, swimming, and then hearing something like that underwater? No thank you. Most people would probably bolt out of there or just freak out entirely, but no, this guy decides he's gonna swim toward the sound instead, which is bold or incredibly idiotic. Probably a mix of both. When he finally surfaces, what he captures is this. Now, is this video for real? Yeah, probably not, but I don't know, I think it's a creepy video all the same. Next up, we've got some eerie footage from Alaska. A group of tourists caught something pretty unsettling on camera while visiting during a glacier collapse. They witnessed this massive sea creature, or at least that's what it looks like. The video shows 7 dark fin-like shapes sticking out of the water, right in front of the collapsed glacier. The first 3 humps appear to be connected, and then another 4 follow, almost like the front and tail of some giant serpent-like creature gliding through the water. Naturally, people freaked out when they saw this, trying to figure out what it could be. Some think it might just be 2 huge sturgeons swimming side by side, which could explain the odd shape of the humps. Sturgeons can get pretty massive, so it's definitely a possible explanation, but whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I would not want to be in the water with it. What exactly are we looking at here? It has a pretty otherworldly appearance. The strange bulbous head combined with those ridiculously long tentacles. Is this CGI? Is it an AI video? Well, no, this video is very real, and that is a living creature. What you're looking at here is a big fin squid, a creature that is very rarely seen. The footage was captured at a drilling site in the Gulf of Mexico, but these creatures aren't limited to just one location. They're found throughout the warm tropical waters of the Atlantic Ocean, including the infamous Bermuda Triangle. Obviously, it has incredibly thin, long tentacles. Yeah, those things can stretch from 13 to 26 feet. The big fin squid is the only known species living in the Haddle Zone, the deepest part of the ocean, hitting depths of 19,700 to 36,000 feet, or 6,000 to 11,000 meters. Makes perfect sense things like this live at such incredible depths, given how damn freaky they look. It's just one more reminder of how little we truly know about the mysterious world beneath the waves. With all that said, I've been your host James, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.